Yo, do you remember the dream life you built for yourself by the time you're 25?
Yeah. Let's all laugh at that together.
Now you're 30 something and you don't have the car,
The job,
The business,
the spouse, and feeling a little like a mess.
we're here to tell you you're still on track to that dream and doing just fine. I'm Beleza.
I'm Kiki.
I'm Gigi, and this is your podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to 30
and a mess.
What up, y'all? It's your girl, Beleza.
It's your girl, Kiki.
And once again, it's your girl, Gigi. Welcome back, joining us. I know your life is still in shambles. Hope you got your bucket and your mop.
Bucket and your mop. Get your bucket and your mop. Bucket and your... Oh, we got a theme song. Oh, shoot.
Right. How was
your
weekend?
It was good.
It was good.
My sister was in town. Shout out to my sister.
Oh, little sis was in town. That's so cute.
Sis was in town, yeah. So had a good time. What about y'all?
My weekend, I feel like Debo is like still in my weekend. You know, like he took the chain like on Friday, you know?
Oh my God.
What chain? I get to Monday, people be like, how was your weekend? I'm like, what weekend?
Dang.
No, but it went by so fast. Saturday, I relaxed a lot. Sunday, I got some stuff done. It's a blur. I don't remember what this Sunday, but I think I was out and about Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keeks?
Yeah, my week was pretty chill, which is how I like it. So I utilized it correctly.
That's what he said. Utilized.
So today, y'all, today, we are talking about our toxic traits. And I know we like to think that we're all perfect, right? But not for real.
Why are you bringing all this toxicity in here?
I'm just saying.
That's fine.
I'm just saying. I gotta bring y'all down a notch or two sometimes.
You can't just let us be great and
nah. I'll let y'all have it all the time. Not today. Not today. So when it comes to toxic traits, do you guys feel that you have a toxic trait? And if so, what is your toxic trait?
24.
Or do you have a couple traits?
She's at 24.
I'm sure we all have toxic traits. I have a toxic trait.
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
No. That's what makes me toxic.
No.
Hi, my name is Beleza, and I have a toxic trait, and I don't want to talk about it.
That's my toxic trait.
And that's my toxic trait.
Nah. Anybody who knows me loves I love heading things head on. So talking about things head on. So that ain't it.
Okay.
So I know for sure I have some toxic traits, and it's becoming more blatant the more I am in therapy, you guys. Like some of the stuff I just didn't realize were toxic traits until I went to therapy. And I'm like, that's bad. Like, for example, I'll give you guys one sample. I don't share much of this, but one of the things is that I found out this past week that I'm emotionally avoidant. So that means that if something is negative or something does not make me feel good or okay, I be up out of there. I don't be playing around. I don't care if you my mother, my sister, my friend. Like if you going through something or something is happening and I feel like it's negative, I'll be out. So that's a toxic trait because like you want to be able, in order to be able to build strong solid relationships, you need to be able to be there for people as well as let people be there for you. So when you're emotionally avoiding, you're also emotionally avoidant to yourself as well. So like if I'm going through like a challenging day or something is happening with me, I self-isolate, which is also a toxic trait essentially.
Can we also give each other toxic traits
that we notice of each other?
Yeah.
Oh, we can do it, but we all better be ready to hear it. That's the.
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, trust me, Kiki reads me. Okay. And I be accepting it.
All right, what you gotta say? What's the toxic trait for somebody else? in the
I don't know.
group.
I'm still thinking about my own. Who am I to speak about somebody's toxic trait until I at least pick out one for me? Okay.
Another toxic trait I have is yeah, I think I don't want to work anymore. I think that's
That ain't
toxic.
toxic. That's very healthy.
Right. That sounds healthy to me.
Like it's toxic because like I don't want to work, but I also don't trust anyone to take care of me the way that I would take care of me. Isn't that a bit like nonsensical?
I don't think that's necessarily toxic. I think you just realize you're okay with not working, but you want somebody to do it. If someone's going to take care of you, you want them to do it the way you would do it. I don't think that's
Yeah.
necessarily toxic.
Yeah, I think that's your preference
But you
on how
can't
you want to
force
live.
you can't force somebody to take care of you the way that you want them to. You have to see how they take care of you, you know?
Well, yeah, but what would make it toxic is if you tell somebody, "Hey, you have to take care of me," and then
And I
grind
feel
them
like I
every
would be at
day.
that level if I didn't work, Kiki. That's where I feel like I would be. Like, no, 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 I'm not gonna work, but you need to do this. You got to do this over here. You got to be. It's like I feel like I need to control it. You know, like
So controlling is
controlling.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's a toxic trait for sure. Like I got to control how something is done, the way it's done. Like if it's not done that way, I feel like the person's not like
Oh,
listening or caring. Or
I got one.
go ahead. What is it? What is it?
I'm bossy.
I'm bossy.
I'm
I'm the
very.
one that's calling the shot.
I
And
realize
it,
that.
and,
Oh, shout out to Kelly.
that is Khalees.
I love her. Uh, yeah. Maybe that's why I appreciated her when that song came out. But yeah, no, I think I'm bossy.
What else you think?
That's
You about
it.
to say something else?
Oh, I was gonna expound on it, but I don't know. Are we expounding on it? I'm just giving
Yeah.
I mean,
my opinion.
yeah, I don't see why not.
I feel like I'm bossy. One, because I'm told that multiple times, and once or twice is like, eh. But when you're told that quite a few times, you have to look in the mirror and think about it. Um, and then you're like, oh yeah, I can see that. Um, Sometimes, even though I tell people I'm gonna let them lead, I end up taking the lead. It's
She be
not
like, move,
necessarily
move, I
like
got it.
yeah. No, you got it. Actually, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Because you ain't do it the way I wanted you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do it.
And then get mad that they didn't do it.
And then
Yeah,
get mad that
Like,
they
yeah,
didn't do it.
absolutely.
They didn't do it. I think that's a big toxic trait.
for me, I think my main one is not expressing my emotions in the moment. Like I'm not going to tell you what I think of you or how I feel about you right when it's happening. And I may not explode it. Like I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it comes out when you're angry," and you know how things like that happen. I don't even do that. Like you, I don't think I express myself in a way that you can get a fair discernment of what I'm thinking about you in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. I can see that one.
Hmm. That's probably my biggest toxic trait. Like I'd rather just not speak on it, talk on it. I'm not going to head up a confrontation in the moment. And that's for a reason, but it's not a good reason.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys base the definition of toxic on? Like, what makes these things toxic?
Um.
Self-sabotage
Mm,
is
Mm,
one of them, I feel. And then you also have you sabotaging things or people around you.
mm. That's a good one.
Hmm.
For me, I define toxic like a toxic trait is anything that causes um any level of dysfunction. So for me, if it's like dysfunctional, I feel like it's toxic.
Mm,
Hmm.
And
mm,
when what I mean by dysfunction is like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really work. Like it's not something that will get you far. Excuse me. And if it does get you far, then it's not going to keep you where you want to go. Like anything in those kind of like in that kind of realm for me is what's toxic, or that causes chaos, causes a level of chaos um that has no response to it. Like you can't like, what is that word? Solve it. That's for me. That's toxic as well.
Mm.
Mm.
That's how I define it.
Yep, I agree with both you guys. I think when I hear toxic, I just think of, well, even just breaking toxic down to its what it means, which is like almost like a poison, right? So like if I hear somebody say like, "Oh, I feel like you're very toxic," or you have toxic things, that's something that's like unwanted or very unpleasant. It's something that can destroy either yourself or others. So
Mm-hmm.
when I think of toxic traits, I'm thinking of things that can potentially destroy myself if I
Mm-hmm.
let it go on for so long.
Mm.
That's funny because you know this word toxic is newer. It's not a word we used to use growing up. Well, I don't know about y'all, but me growing up, we didn't use that word a lot. For me, that word is like within the last 3 years, it has become like a big, you know, a big part of our jargon and everyday life. Do you think that toxic is overused, and what word do you think toxic is replaces? Excuse me.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think
Okay.
toxic is not overused. I think it's
Okay.
used appropriately, but it's because there's so many things on social media
Okay.
that has spilled into making things very self-sabotaging. And so I think instead of saying sabotage, destroy,
Mm-hmm.
broken, hurt, pain, they just use the term toxic.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
again, when something is toxic, it kind of spoils everything around them, right? So, um, like social media is toxic, but I
Yeah.
think I think it's used so much
Yeah.
because social media has become a light to of so many things that makes people want to run or not really truly show themselves or things like that. Like, and again, not blaming social media.
Yeah.
And to answer your question before that, I feel like toxic now was the term abuse before.
Because I feel like for me, toxic is interchangeable with dysfunction. Because I used to always say, "Oh, that's
Okay.
dysfunctional," or "That behavior is dysfunctional." Oh, they dysfunctional. Like he's drinking all day, every day. Like that's dysfunctional. Like, but
I
now
always
it's
say
like, "Oh, he
wild,
toxic,
crazy, bugging, tripping.
bugging, he bugging."
He bugging. Yo, you bugging. Yo, that's
Yeah,
bugging.
you
Yo, they
bugging for real.
wow.
Like
You
you
would always
bugging
say,
for
yo, that's
real.
yeah. You would always say that's wild. They bugging, they tripping. Like I feel like it replaced all the other words. It just took all the words
And
and
put it into one.
put it in a bowl called toxicity. I do. I believe it's the spice. Like all those words are spices in the bowl.
Not that they're
You are the
spices.
main ingredient.
Put some respect on it.
Yeah.
Or what are some traits that y'all have seen in others that may have been presented towards you, to you, around you? Maybe things that you've seen in us.
So I think this is a word that's used way too much, but gaslighting.
Mm, that's a big one.
That is a toxic trait, yo.
Yeah. I do think it's used too much, but I mean, it technically really explains what a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Other people feel as if it's very manipulative,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So I don't know anything more toxic than your friend who think that she can control your time, Kiki. Like who wants
Girl,
like yo, that takes the cake for me. Like after I hear that story, I don't have anything to compare to that. um
girl.
but I think toxic traits I've seen in others, one of the ones I think is major is when people want the title but don't want to do the work. That
Mm,
is
Mm,
toxic. Like, how
mm,
dare you? Like, How dare you want to
Mm,
have like all this, like the title that comes with all this responsibility, but you don't
mm,
want to do the responsibility. You just want the
mm,
title to like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you don't want to
mm,
do the work. You like try to have somebody else do the work. Like
mm.
that's toxic. Like that's not
This the clip right here. This
like.
the clip right here. That's the clip.
That's the episode, y'all. Have a good night.
Have a
Have
good
a good
night.
night.
Enjoy. Dang, that was real. That was real though.
No, but for real, and then toxic traits within each other. Oh, so there's one toxic trait. It's so funny. I think it's hilarious because I be cracking up about it. So, for example, Beleza will get upset with us about not doing something, but we all be slacking, right? But she be going off on us, right? She be going in, and it be this very thing. She be like, "Y'all need to let me know if I'm messing up. Y'all need to speak up too. Y'all need to let me know." And like whatever the example would be, she would be one of the persons also messing up in that example, and we be cracking. Well, I be cracking up. I don't know about Kiki, but I be dying on the inside. Like,
Yep.
but you
And
have to be serious because her what she's saying is valid. We do need to be on certain things. We do have to like hold each other accountable. Yes, yes, yes. But I be cracking because she be the main one. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's
yep.
toxic trait.
And the funny part about that one is though, I purposely like, for instance, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do my Friday Beleza music box twice to see
Mm-hmm.
if y'all was gonna bring it up, and nobody brought it up.
Absolutely
Yes,
not.
but it also goes back to holding yourself accountable. Like I should, like you said before when we first started, nobody should be calling y'all, texting y'all every week to be like, "Hey, have you stuff in? Have you stuff in? Have you stuff in?"
I
So
agree.
the same
But
test
it
is
was,
on the other
again, it was
end.
one of those. It was one of those things where I'm like, I'm waiting for somebody to call me out, and nobody called me out. Like I said, to your point, yes, the second time you ain't gotta call me out, but no one called me out the first time. No one.
You mentioned that you wasn't gonna do it.
She didn't do it the week of her Africa trip, and then she didn't do it again like another random week.
Oh, I didn't notice the second time. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But it was literally back to back, but no one said it on either.
Well, just so y'all
Meanwhile,
know,
y'all do Kiki Corner
just
every
so
week, y'all. Every
Every
fucking
I
week,
missed
week.
Kiki Corner got
I
every
missed one
week.
week,
Kiki
but I
Corner every
also knew I missed that one week. It was a lot going on.
Kiki Corner every week. But I do feel like I'm still not called out on my shit. No one says anything. Even when I know, to your point, yes, self
Yeah.
accountability. But since I've said it, no one's ever
So
called.
you want us to like
I
the
wouldn't,
for the
again.
record?
So I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. I
Yeah.
know what I need to
Yeah.
be better. And what I need to be better is consistency. And I've said that many, many a time. So again, if I'm speaking on hold me accountable, just
Yeah.
like I hold you accountable, hold me accountable. And I will say, like, I'll call
Is
you out
that
when
our
you do
toxic
hold me.
trait, Kiki?
Well,
I'll call you out when you do hold me accountable. Clarice, you late. Clarice, you right. You right. I was late.
Is that our
You
toxic
absolutely
trait,
right.
Kiki? We don't hold Beleza accountable. We don't
yeah,
want to
but
say
I've said
nothing.
that about myself. Like, I'm not going to go into a confrontation with somebody if I feel like it's going to burn my own energy.
Yeah.
So if I feel like anything is going to be confrontational, if I feel I'm not going to tell you about yourself in the moment, but if it comes up in conversation, sure, we could discuss it. We could talk about it. But in the moments of these things missing, I got to just make sure stuff is moving at the
Mm-hmm.
end
That's
of the
true.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like it's just it's what I'm asking for so I can be better. But
Yeah.
like that's not something I'm getting. So it's like,
I'm not even gonna
cool.
lie,
So
yo. I just literally told you during this episode one of my toxic things that I'm learning is that I'm emotionally avoidant. So I think I have the same thing that Kiki has. Like I barely be wanting to be visible sometimes. So if ever I could be invisible, I try to do what I need to do. But I have been skating under the radar. I know for sure for myself, but I'm working on my stuff. I'm trying to work through it. I'm working through a lot of different things. And I get it. We should hold you accountable. I get that.
and
But
that's
I
where
don't
I feel
have
like gaslighting comes in. Cause it's like I'm
are we
not saying
gaslighting you?
I don't think we're gaslighting. I
Gaslighting is
for,
when you
but wait. What makes you feel like it's gaslighting? Because like I've always said, let me hear somebody's side so that just because that's not how I want them to feel or that's how I'm doing something towards them, that
yeah.
doesn't mean that that's not how they're feeling. So what is it that you feel gaslighted on?
no. I think this is the perfect example of gaslighting. I don't think y'all do it 24/7. I don't. But I'm using this
How is this the
example of
example?
where I'm like, okay, what are toxic traits? Well, I mean, toxic trait is somebody saying, you know, we got to do this, that, and hold your, we got to hold each other accountable, including myself. And then she not doing the own thing, but I'm like, you're not holding me accountable though. You know what I'm saying? It's like self-projecting. I guess it's not gaslighting. I guess it's more self-projecting.
Yeah.
Actually, define self-projecting and then define gaslighting, because it might be the same shit and I just
It
don't know
might
that.
be. I need.
I just personally don't know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It might not be gaslighting. I need a definition.
So gaslighting is when you are guilty or you are actually doing an action and somebody calls you out on that action and then you tell them, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Like that's gaslighting. Like if I was doing that, you would know like that's gaslighting.
I thought gaslighting was someone projecting.
So for gaslighting, it says gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victims' minds.
Okay, so
That's
that's
a deep
way
ass
deeper.
definition.
So in other words, gaslighting is toxic.
Yo, say that definition again. That's
Wait,
crazy.
you gotta finish it. You gotta finish it though. It says typically gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition.
Yes, that's gaslighting.
Wait, say that first part of that
So the
definition
first
again,
part of
though.
the definition, starting from the top, is gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind.
Yes. So this is where I get self-projection from.
But wait, let's look up self-projection. 1 second.
Well, give me your definition of it, and then in the meantime, Gigi, look it up.
Yep. I think that's why this is why I kind of coincide the two, because self-projection is, what's a perfect example that I've had? So I'm not even gonna, maybe it's not the term self-projection.
But it's something, you know what I mean? Like, what, you're not wrong.
Okay, so I'm thinking of, put it like this: Sally and James.
You know I like these stories because I'll be listening. You know I like these kind of stories. You know our attention span be right in center. Come on with the story. Come on with the story.
Sally and James, like, my water bottle, Sally on. So Sally and James. Okay, Sally says, "Hey, I got something for you." Right? James is like, "Okay, cool. Go ahead and give it to me whenever you can." Okay, cool. A few days go by. Sally get busy. Sally calls James. "Hey, what's up? How you doing? What's going on?" James is like, "Oh, I'm chilling. How are you?" And so Sally's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a minute. I haven't heard from you in a minute. Just checking on you, making sure you're straight, making sure you're good." James go off. James like, "Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you're the one who's trying to see me, and you didn't even give me my gift yet. Like, what's up with that?" Like, it seems like you the one who brought it up. So what is that?
Pettiness.
Shit, I don't know what that
Just
is. I ain't never heard no shit like that.
Because it's kind of like they flip it. So what I'm saying, the definition I'm trying to give is like something that's really bothering them, they'll flip it on the person. No. I don't think that's a toxic trait. I think one of them is cutting people off a lot without trying to understand their understanding or logic. Just trying to grab them where they're wrong instead of just truly understanding where they're coming from.
Okay, I can work on that for sure.
Yeah, but I've seen that in other people too.
I would say for me, some things that I encounter a lot, y'all, like a lot, is that because I don't present assertiveness the way people would like to, they feel that they can control me. So they want to tell me how to do something, how to move, what to say, how to say it. Like it's very apparent in a lot of women that are around me. And I realized that I actually tie it back to like my childhood because I realized that I have a lot of issues with like strong Black women, like alpha females. And the reason for that is because I feel like a lot of times the ones that enter my life, they enter because of my life. I've said this before. They enter because they're like, oh, you're so different from me. You're this, you're patient, you're this, you're that. And then they'll spend the majority of the time trying to make me like them. That is extremely toxic. Like, if you're going to be a friend, just be a friend or associate, but don't try to make me like you just because I'm not going to be toxic with you in any given situation. I'm not going to rah-rah with you in the situation. So you're going to try to make me rah-rah with you. So we've gone through just like what we believe toxic traits are. Is there any toxic traits that you see that you feel is like, it's toxic, but you don't either mind it or you're not bothered by it, or even things that may turn you on? Some girls like the bad boys, knowing damn well they out there in the streets doing craziness, but that's what's turning them on, or just
But I
anything in
love
general.
him. But I love him. We're all work in progress, right? But that's the reason why we're talking about toxicity, because we've been through it. We've been through it. We've done it. So I would say one thing that I realized was hella toxic that I kept going back to was manipulation. They were very manipulative, and they made you feel like you were the problem.
Mm.
And so all the while, they'll call you out on your shit, and they may be right, but it's because you're telling them a concern that you have, and they're only bringing their concern out because you're bringing your concern out. And so you work on your shit, but then they're not working on theirs. But again, the conversation started because of a concern that the first person initially had. But then that second person will turn around and flip it on them. And then the first person, which is me, I'll work on it, but then realize like they're not working on themselves. So then you constantly feel like you're the problem.
Mm.
Mm.
And so it's like, I think both are problems, because clearly somebody's calling you out on your shit, right? But you're doing your best to try to fix yours, and you're being cautious about it. But the other one's moving. Old boy was moving like nothing was wrong with them. And they never fixed it. Like, ever. Never fixed it. But again, I think that was a trait that I won't say attracted to, but I guess I say attracted to because I stayed, right? I stayed around for a minute. But it was like,
but it wasn't because of that trait that you stayed around, I'm assuming.
yeah, but it's a toxic trait.
But does that turn you on? Like, I could say, like, for an example, for me, in my younger years, I'm 30 something and I am much better now, y'all. I am
Yes,
in therapy.
We promise we are better people now.
I'm a much better person. But coming from up north, y'all gonna hear this term from me. This is the old school term. I like roughnecks. Like, I like the hardcore dude. I like the little bit rough around the edges in the streets, the bad, but I like that. Like, that was, and that's like, that's not a person to bring home to your mama. But I did.
You used to bring them
But
home?
bro.
Okay, so maybe mine would be the low key. I like the low key in the cut dudes, but they were a problem. But they had to be low key. They couldn't be the showboating one. They couldn't be the ones like always in trouble. They were the ones who seemed innocent and stayed to themselves, but they were a fucking problem.
Was a killer in the streets, was a general.
Yeah. Yeah. But they just moved silently.
You still like that?
I like guys that are nerds that move in silent in the corner. I kind of switched it. But I do still like guys who they don't showboat. They're not really big, but they're the dopest person in the room.
Mm.
I do like that.
Gigi, what about you?
One of my toxic traits, I mean, one of the toxic traits that I used to like fall for that I thought was attractive was like guys who now I'm realizing it are emotionally unavailable. Yo, like if you wasn't emotionally unavailable, I ain't want you. You was too invested with me and what I wanted. I did not want you. Like, I'm good.
I'm young.
Like I like the guys who were so emotionally unavailable that they were creating an experience for me. Like they wanted to show me the world. Like they wanted to do everything. They did everything for me. But then, if I wanted anything beyond like the physical stuff they could supply, like trips or like gifts, like if I wanted like anything more than that, they just weren't emotionally there for it. Like they just could not. They couldn't be there for that. But
Hey
now that's
Alexa,
changed.
add Gigi's list to mine. Thanks.
But that has changed now.
Yes.
That has changed significantly. Like now, like I see guys who still do all that, like gifting and like traveling type stuff, like paying for stuff, all that kind of stuff. And I just be looking at them like, okay, but what else are you? Like, who else are you? And then they don't have nothing else beyond that. I call it a paywall now. They don't have anything else beyond that paywall. And I'm just like, I'm not interested. No, thank you. I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
just be by myself. Thank you for the flowers, though.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you. Good night.
flowers. Thank you for the
Have a
nice
good
day.
night.
The walk in the park was beautiful. Thank you. But you empty inside, bro. You empty.
Mm, mm. Double on the
Um
empty.
what else? The toxic trait used to turn me on in others. Everything else would is off putting. What about you?
I already said it. It was the roughnecks. Like
That was the
I like
only trait. They had to be rough on the neck.
Yeah. I think we picking our main ones. We like this is the main
the
ones.
man. Like I was
There's
very
more.
attracted to like hardcore type of guys, but like the obvious textbook version of like what a bad boy would be. I would say even now I have traits of liking someone who would be clearly my fiance, but he has like traits of to you he looks like the really good guy, but I know where he can go if necessary. And
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
okay with that. I just need to know that you can get there to protect me, but you don't gotta be rah-rah every single day trying to prove yourself to everybody else in this world.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I kind of streamlined it down the way I needed it
Yeah.
to come down.
I agree.
But yeah, it's definitely like the bad boy style, like the mysterious style person. Like that's not a good person to bring home to your mama unless they're actually doing good in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so where are you guys accepting that you are not a part of the problem? Like, how do you like? Is there a part of your life that you feel like you're just not going to accept that? You're the problem, but you're not going to accept that. You're just not going to address it. You're not going to try to fix it. You're just going to always be a part of that problem, or you currently are in being that problem and you're not near fixing it yet.
Yes, no, and maybe.
Okay.
I know that sounds crazy, but yes, there are some instances where I know that things could be fixed and I let it rock. And I think this comes where Kiki was saying earlier, like you just don't have the energy to deal, right? And um then I say no because there's at times it's kind of like you just got to cut things off and you got to be like, listen, hey, this is not cool, this is like not dope, and you move from it. And then maybe is the I don't know what I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know if people will tell you or not if it's toxic, but you keep doing the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. So yes, no, and maybe.
Gigi?
Um, I am not even remotely close to that area of my life anymore. I'm trying to be accountable for everything that I am accountable for. I really want to work through my shit.
Mhm.
Um, because I'm trying to clear the path for my husband. I'm trying to clear the path for like what I want for my next part of my journey. I'm trying to clear the path for like the success that I'm opening myself up to. And in order for me to do that, I have to be acknowledgeable of where I need to clean up. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might be toxic because I'm like, fuck everything and fuck everyone else around me because I got to get this shit done. But other than that, like, I'm a part of the problem a lot of the times. And I'll speak up. Like, if it's something that, like, hurting other people, I'm willing to change and grow from it. But if it's something that's not hurting anyone, but it's like, you really just gonna do that? I'm like, yeah, just let me learn this part of my process. I'm accountable for this. Like, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of my process. But other than that, I don't think I have like a area of my life right now where I'm just accepting that I'm a part of the problem.
Mm.
What about you?
I will say yes and no. I will say that I can see where my toxic traits are. I can see where they lie at. And before I was all about fixing anything that was wrong with myself,
Mm,
but I'm in a place of my life right now where I'm in a healing journey, and we could speak about that on a whole nother episode. But
mm-hmm.
I'm in the healing journey, and I have to be absolutely selfish in this journey. So I can see a problem, and if it's something that is not going to protect my peace in the moment, I'm not going to address it. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it pushing, and if it comes up in my face later on, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just where I'm at right now. I don't think I'll be there for forever, though. I think
Mm-hmm.
the things that I do identify as my own toxic traits, I
Mm-hmm.
do plan on working on them. I do plan on being better. But right now, where I'm at in life, no.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fair. That's fair.
hmm So for you guys, what would your warning label be? Like if someone had to come up to you and just be like the first thing they will see be like, this is a warning, red tape on this person. If you choose to move forward, what do you think your warning label would be?
Blunt as fuck. Prepare for battle.
Not prepare for battle. Not
People don't
for
like
war.
people don't like, I realize people don't like people who are blunt. And it can cause a lot of problems. I think that's also a toxic trait in itself. Like I said, y'all, I have more than one trait. I just gave one earlier, but I think being too blunt and not considering people's feelings at times is a very toxic trait. So a warning would probably be blunt as fuck. And I say prepare for battle because people, when they hear the bluntness or they hear like the assertiveness in my voice, they automatically take it left. So
Mm.
blunt as fuck, prepare for battle.
She said they automatically take the left. Damn.
Oh, they be like,
No, they
what did
do.
she just say? You look good as fuck today. That's what I said. Why did you have to say it like that?
What's that aggressive about saying I look good?
My warning label probably would be like, she may laugh a lot, but do not cross this line.
Mm,
Like,
Mm.
I think that would be my warning label.
mm,
I have maybe two. One would definitely be like, you would not like to see me when I'm angry.
uh, do not press. That's
I,
warning.
I, I know that I'm taking the whole line, but nah, for real, B, you do not want to see me when I'm angry. But the other one would be make your own decisions because I'm straddling the fence.
Nah, you should have, other one you should have is, I'm not your puppet.
That,
Ah,
Yo, because, oh, girl, I can't get over it.
I'm not a puppet. No.
She want all your time, Kiki. You better watch out
girl,
for
every
her.
free time I had, I was like, girl. So, what's your biggest takeaways?
My biggest takeaway is that you can be toxic within your friendships and not even realize it. And I say that because, and I let me put some, let me expound on it. I think our own toxicities can contribute to conversations never being had.
What about you, Gigi?
One of my toxic traits is that I didn't realize that um my my questioning while somebody is making a thought could be considered toxic. I didn't realize that before, but now that I am aware of it, it pinched me a little bit, but I have to be okay with it because like people speak the way they speak, and then I learn the way I learn, and sometimes that does affect other people negatively, you know? And so like I gotta figure out ways to navigate that. So I think for me, I'm taking away is like sometimes our own toxic behavior is there so that way we can learn how to change it. Like it's not something that is going to it could be for with you forever if you're willing to like see it for what it is and kind of like change and grow from it.
Yeah, I can relate. I can relate.
Yeah, and I will just say honestly, both you guys wraps up was perfect. Like it's just a matter of like you can be aware of a lot of your own toxic traits, but there's still some things that you may not recognize as being toxic because you've lived it for so long and thought it was normal. So more so like I think my biggest takeaway is just making sure to take criticism as it comes because you just never know if that piece of information can actually really make you not only better but just make you push forward in a lot of aspects of your life that might have hindered you because you didn't realize that was toxic.
Yeah.
So that would be my biggest takeaway.
I agree.
Me too. I feel like this was one of the realest conversations. We say that every episode.
Every episode.
Like we're getting deeper and deeper, guys. We are uncovering things about us that we don't even know. Okay.
Yeah, y'all like really are hearing things in real time right now. So
like like I definitely agree. So I think this is one of the realest episodes because I think we all I think the conversation made us think about ourselves. At least me. I'm gonna speak for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was a great episode. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in today. Definitely check us out on all our social medias. Tell us what you think. What's your toxic trait? You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, tag us. If you listen to the episode, let us know what your toxic trait is. But hit us up on all social media platforms or go to www.30nms.com. Social media, 30nms, that's 30ANDAMESS. And also check out our merch. That's on our link tree. It's in our bio, on our pages. Definitely go check that out. Merch. We have a Black Friday all month. We love y'all. Y'all be safe. Y'all think about it. And we'll see you next Monday. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.